Hello, before I start the video, I want to apologise for the quality. I'm in the process of going back home from uni, so my room's a mess. I don't have my webcam with me right now since that's back at home, and so is my microphone. So, oh yeah, and also I look like crap because it's really hot. I've been getting everything together and yeah, so okay, I know I'm a little bit late to this topic, but basically, if you haven't heard, which you probably have, there was Bill Nye, the most unqualified scientist ever. He's fabulous, not so fabulous, come back on Netflix. Now, I've only watched this one specific episode because I heard so much people talking about it, and I just love internet drama, so I watched it. And if you've heard of this series, then you probably know what episode I watched. If you haven't, then on Bill Nye Saves the World, which is the new Netflix series, there's an episode where Bill Nye talks about gender and how there's more than two genders, and that there's also a spectrum of sexuality. So yeah, as I said, I know I'm a little bit too late to jump on this. But yeah, the video which he made is pretty much what you would expect from someone on Tumblr, not a scientist or scientist. So basically in this video I'm just going to show you a few clips. Not all of it, I think the episode's like 30 minutes long, and I'm just gonna talk about my opinions. So let's begin.
These are human chromosomes. They contain all the genes you need to make a person. This one is called an X chromosome, and that one down there, wait. That's a Y chromosome. They're sex chromosomes. Females usually have two X's, and males generally have an X and a Y.
So in other words, there's only two genders.
But it turns out about 1 in every 400 pregnancies has a different number of sex chromosomes.
And that, Bill Nye, is called a deformity. Down syndrome is a deformity which people have from birth, but Down syndrome isn't its own gender, it's considered deformity. Just like what hermaphrodites are, they suffer from a deformity. And it's not a common deformity, at least it's not common enough to consider its own gender. And people who are intersex, they usually end up identifying as either male or female.
I think there were just two settings, male and female. But it's actually a lot sexier than that. Check out the smoking hot abacus of sex. Now, as you can see, this is a pretty complicated machine. So I'm going to ask for a little help with that. And who better to talk about sex than two cis-male white guys?
Ah, so Bill Nye's one of those anti-men, anti-white cucks. I can see where this episode's going.
The first aspect of sexuality is, anyone? Sex! Here's what I'm saying. Biologically, not everybody fits into the categories male or female. And by everybody, I mean every living, reproducing thing. Am I right, Clarence? The clownfish. Here he is. No, this is relevant, everybody, because you may not know clownfish can change their sex. There's a variety in chromosomes. And like I said, there are sex chromosome abnormalities in 1 in 400 pregnancies. I mean, that is pretty frequent. But there's also a variety in sex organs and hormones. This whole thing is wild, people. Am I right, Derek?
Absolutely, sir.
Actually, everyone kinda does. I may identify as a woman, even though I look terrible as one, but that doesn't necessarily make me one. Biologically, I'm male, as it's probably quite obvious. And it doesn't matter how much hormones I pump into my body, how much surgery I'll ever get, how badly I mutilate my genitals, which I'm not going to do. I will always biologically be male. Say if like, this is a long shot, but say if maybe in like 5 to 10 years I'm passable at least. If you were to do tests on me, my chromosomes will still say she's male.
Now, the next aspect of this is gender. It works the same way. We used to think of gender and sex as synonymous, but these days we use these two words differently. Sex is biological, gender is how you identify yourself and your experience.
And gender goes hand in hand with sex. There's two sexes, male and female. which means there can only be two genders, male and female. Since to be transgender means that you're transitioning from one gender to the other, and obviously there's only two genders. So let's say, for liberal argument's sake, that actually, let's use me as an example. I was clearly born male, but I identify as female. I can't identify as potato gender because there's no such thing. All studies relating to third genders and non-binary are... there's more evidence against those things existing than evidence for them existing. Whilst with transgenders, there's obviously genders for it, which is what they solve for them. And suffering from genders for it does not mean you're the opposite gender. You're always going to be the gender you're born as, regardless of what you feel like. There is no spectrum of gender, is what I'm trying to say here. If there was, then why are there just two sexes? Gender doesn't stop where feelings begin.
We scientists call the Netflix and chill aspect of sexuality attraction. Netflix and chill wouldn't fit. And guess what? It turns out whom you are attracted to is also on a spectrum.
And that spectrum consists of three different sexualities: normal, greedy, and faggot. Anything else is just called being an attention-seeking little whore, or attention-seeking liberal. They're usually liberal. In fact, they're always liberal.
There's more! Just one more. Just one more. We call it expression, or how you present yourself to the world.
I don't see how the way someone expresses themselves can come into this. If I was to put cardboard wings on myself and express myself as an Apache helicopter with heat-seeking missiles, which my Facebook gender says I am, by the way, I'm not a helicopter, I'm just expressing myself by trying to look like one. Not a very good one, but...
But K-pop is definitely pushing those boundaries.
So is it just young people, or is it everybody?
I think it's mainly the young people. From
kids.
From what I could see, I mean, I didn't talk to everyone, but that's definitely where
You
it
didn't
starts.
talk to everyone? I mean, it's not that big a country.
It's big, Bill. Seoul is huge. But yeah, you know, I talked to as many people as I could, and clearly the vibe was that things are changing and that K-pop is leading the way.
Are people accepting it, or is it like we have, you know, some very conservative people here in the United States that would rather it never got accepted?
I think that there's always going to be a conservative kind of backlash to progress.
And there will always be a liberal backlash to facts. Now, there is a lot more to the episode, like this disgusting dance which is just aimed at children.
Treasure, 'cause my sex jug is so much more than either or. If they're alive, I'll date them, chanting or genitating. I'm down for anything. No box in my box. Give someone new a handy, then give yourself props.
Oh, you think you're so smart? Did you learn gay in college?
Cheer with all of that while I drop some knowledge.
But everything else was pretty much just the same. Such there was this one sequence of them talk about sexuality. It was just the same throughout the entire 30 minutes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. If you want to, then I have a website where I talk about social issues and politics. Not as often as on my previous one, which is Insurgents, by which a couple of you were fans of. Since I've been really busy, but since I have 4.5 months of no uni now, I'm probably going to update it quite regularly. And unlike Insurgents, where it's more my personal opinions rather than trying to be an alternative news site, it's just be talking about social issues and political issues, and it's not going to be as short as Insurgents wise, since on Insurgents I tried to cover everything, even when I wasn't too fond of it. So with my new website, which is emilyrosehager.com, I'm only going to be covering what interests me, or if I think I have a different opinion from what a lot of people have, or a different perspective. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video.